being used in class, that is okay. It is very important to use these systems in class, or it is very okay to use computers in class because they will enhance them. They will bring about cooperative learning. They will be they will create inquisitiveness or creativity. So those are things we have already seen. Then, how do you ensure that these computers are used the right way? That is where we are thinking about managing how computers are going to be used in class. And key component is effectively use computers is as an educator. The educator is responsible for why students are using computers, when they are using computers, and how students are using computers. So there is the question of why computers are being used in class, then when they are going to be used in class, that is the other aspect, and how these computers are going to be used in class. So it's very important for you as an educator to specify what are the objectives you want to achieve. So in order for you to answer these three questions of why you want students to use computers in class, how they are going to use them, and when they are going to use them, you need to put across the objectives. What are the objectives based on based on students' abilities? So you need to understand what are the ability levels of these learners and their background. Like we said, learners will come from different backgrounds, and when they come from different backgrounds, it means that some of them may be computers and they are more endowed with knowledge on how to operate computers. Others may not be so much both, and they may need assistance here and there so that they can be able to understand better. So that is the factors you're going to look at so that you may be able to understand how others are going to be used or why you need to use them in class. So after you have understood that, next thing is to understand the material that is available inside the classroom or in your school. Sometimes you may go to schools and you find that they have very advanced computers, they have good computer labs. Some other places, computers are not even enough. They are not even up to date. So those are factors you need to what resources you have so that you may be able now to know how to use properly and then is the allocated time. It's not like you're going to spend the whole day on computers. No, there is going to be the allocated time for that particular class and for that particular lesson you want to carry out inside computer lab or you want to use computers for learning. Then assessment is ongoing and it tries to ensure that the students are making satisfactory progress. So that is where you are trying to bring about assessment is just a method of evaluation. You are asking them questions or you are giving them questions or tasks which are going to check whether they have understood what you have told them. And once you have been able to see that they have understood, then you can move on and you can confidently say that they are progressing in learning. So basically, that is the whole of the course. So in order to answer the first question of when they need to use classes, then these are the factors you want to consider. What are the objectives and the desired learner outcomes? Will the use of computers and technology help them to uh, meet the desired learner outcome? Can the learning be achieved through any other method? And are there assessing resources available? Then do the students require some previous skill or they require some skills we call prerequisite, right? They need to have knowledge of maybe using mouse, using word and such things. So once you have confirmed that there are no prerequisite skills or all the students have the necessary prerequisite skills, then you can move on. And then are the classroom computers or computer labs available for the lesson? If so, how are the lessons scheduled? So those are the questions you want to answer in terms of when you need to use. So how do you plan and manage a computer lab lesson or a computer-based lesson? One is grouping strategies. You will group learners according to their understanding. Like we had said in our previous class, you can group learners, those who seem to know better, like us who seems to have already grasped the concept, or they already know what they are doing. You group them with those who are struggling a little bit so that they can help the other one who is struggling to learn. Because, like we said, learners can learn better from their colleagues or from their fellow learners. So that is one of the grouping strategies. Then you need also to design a classroom computer schedule. Like when are they going to be joining that computer class? Then what are the lesson ideas and examples? And can the learners relate with what they are learning? Are there real life examples of what they are learning about so that it may have an impact on them? Then, how do you monitor and assess work? One of the methods you can use is ongoing assessments, like asking students to provide report of their work. If they have typed a document, then they print it out and they can bring and you see. Drill and practice exam is another method whereby you give them a quiz, maybe questions following one another, and they can do that. Then there are practice programs that can track and record students' daily progress. These are some of the things I was telling you. I will be sharing the links so that you can look at them practically and how they normally work. So do not worry, that we will share with you. Then there is a rubric. That is another method used to assess student work. And this is a scoring guide that provides educators with alternative method of assessing student work. So rather than using multiple choices or true or false answering methods, then you can use rubrics to gauge how well students are meeting objectives through specific defined criteria. And they are using to assess projects such as presentation, web quests, and other multimedia assignments. Those other assignments which you are not able to use maybe true or false or multiple choice, like how well is the student able to design a card? So when they are able to design a card, that is something you will have to look at and see how well it is done. So when using a rubric, then is able to show you such or is able to evaluate a learner on such. Then we move on to how do you create or when creating rubrics, because this is an evaluation tool you are going to create yourself or you are going to customize so that it fits the requirements of your learners. So when creating a rubric, you need to consider the standards which are used in your school or in your country or in your learning area, like in county area, if we are specifically within our country. Then you also need to determine what are the knowledge, skills, and concepts which you want to assess, which you want to see. Most likely, you do not want to see if a student is able to add two numbers. You want to see if they are able to access that site, be able to open a particular application, and then perform the activity. Sometimes, like when I'm telling students, send this work via email or submit through the learning portal will definitely, if someone is able to submit through the learning portal, then you are sure that they know how to open the internet, they know how to go to the particular web portal, and they know how to maybe upload that document. So already, you have evaluated their ability to interact with web-based systems, and they are good at that. So what we are talking about. What exactly do you want to assess? Then, what are the student performance level? What exactly are you going to check? Like, what level of performance do you want to see? When we talk about levels, you are looking at, are they able to meet the deadline, like they do it right in time? Are they able to, for example, go to an advanced stage? Like if it is designed a card, how is their creative level and such? Then criteria to judge student performance. Like if I give you some work and I put you to edit a document, then I would like to see how far have you gone? Have you met the minimum requirements? Have you gone beyond what I had asked for? And so that is how you can be able to judge that performance. Then when do you use these computers? Like we have said, is a learning objective or what is the learner outcome expected? Then kind of media are you going to use? How will computers be scheduled? Then are there prerequisite skills required? And lastly, how will the student work be assessed? This be a road look at. So when we are talking about the learner outcome or the objective for that um, activity or use of computer, then it's going to be put under either the national, the county, or this education standard, or even school. Because up to now we have gone to specific schools. You hear about schools performing better than the others, it's because a particular school may have some standards by which it wants to achieve. So you want to create or use computers to achieve either a standard for the school, a standard for your sub-county or your county, or the national standard, whereby is a requirement that a student who is finishing maybe P2 needs to know 1, 2, 3. A student who is finishing grade 2 or grade 3, they are supposed to know 1, 2, 3. That is why we are saying technology can help students learn subject matter content, information skills, analytical skills, and communication skills. So maybe that is what is expected for this learner, that by the time they finish this level of education and by the time they finish this level of using computers, this is what they need to have acquired. And those are the standards we are talking about. So when we are talking about information skills, it's like that search via the internet and electronic media. Are they able to maybe search for something on the internet? Are they able to Google or something like that? Analytical skills is where they can use databases or spreadsheets or problem solving software. Like, can they use this application to perform this specific activity? They're able to do that, then you are good to go. Then we also have communication skills whereby the learners able to use email to send their work. Can they be able to communicate electronically? Maybe there is a chat of create. Are they able to exchange ideas, messages? Are they able to use word processing, maybe create notices? Are they able to use multimedia and presentation program? All of those are the communication skills we are talking about. And then is the resource for assessment available? And then assessing this using technology resources. I mean, if the available computers, softwares, and peripherals are available to facilitate that kind of instruction. So, when we are using computer labs versus computers in the in classroom, then we normally say that computer labs are going to be limited maybe to 30 or 40 minutes per week. They are going to include things like assemblies, fire drills, holidays, and this is going to limit students from meeting the 30 minutes time allotted them per week. Computers are more likely to be in an isolation, or they are going to be like something which is co-curricular instead of them being connected to the curriculum. That's where when we talk about using curriculum, it has that disadvantage. and no time is lost when you are going to and from the lab. And then where and here is greater because the school uses the same computer labs. So it's better to have them in classes so that you can be able to get more time. You can be able to ensure that students are or learners are exposed to computers for a longer period of time. So when you're talking about computer lab, all students are going to have access of computers at the same time. That is in terms of advantage, and it is going to allow the teacher to facilitate the whole class instruction. Then technology resource teacher may be available to help the learners and teachers, and then they cost less. When we are using computers in the classroom, then it's going to be an integral part of the instruction, or computers are going to form part of the learning process. And they are going to allow teachers to have for moments where they can access the internet and get information regarding current events and even topics of interest. They're also going to help educators to give lessons directly which are related to daily instruction. And then there is the opportunity for whole group or small group discussions, as well as classroom materials and management tasks being easier. So whenever you use computers in class, those are the advantages you are getting. And then when also using computers in classroom, you need to determine the software and referrals. And these ones are the ones that are available to support lessons. Like when we are talking about software and the hardware resources, we are looking at is the memory capacity of computers, which operating system is running, and we are also looking at peripheral devices such as are there printers? If you want to print some work, do you have a print? If you wanted to do some multimedia activity, do you have the screen? Do you have the speakers maybe for some and such things? When we are talking about prerequisite skills, because they are also important, these are the skills needed for operation. Like, do you know how to turn on a computer? Do you know how to switch it off? Do you know how to open and close program? Do you know how to use designated software and referrals? So those are some of the things you need to know about your learners. Are they able to perform such activities? So those activities, those basic activities are the ones which make them more comfortable when they are using technology or they are coming to class to use computer-based learning. If someone doesn't know how to switch a computer, it may appear like they are afraid to even touch it, but it is because they don't know how to use it. And that is why you need for them to have those requisite skills. Then assessment issues. You need to consider how to monitor and assess work. And here you can use a daily log or a journal of the student's progress. Some softwares have built-in record keeping options whereby the user can be able to print a daily report and student time on the computer can also be tracked. What exactly are they doing on the computer? Are they just browsing the internet for social media or are they actually doing constructive work? And that can be also some kind of assessment. See, if you have been on computer maybe for the last 1 hour, what exactly were you doing? So those are issues you need to look at. Then, how do we integrate curriculum the or technology the curriculum? You can do that by assigning students to conduct research on the internet. They can also create multimedia projects. They can use simulation, which I will show you, or drill and practice program, and then they can use technology so that they can support goals of the lesson or that particular unit. And this is how, like, what is the lesson objective? Maybe that it can be achieved using pictures, books, reference books, field videos, lecture, computers, and maps. So here, lectures and computers and even video and lectures can be supported by using technology. Maybe these other things now they can be done elsewhere, but technology can be able to support several learning objectives are found like it is shown in this picture. And then when planning a lesson is important to ensure that desired learner outcome is supported, and then us should rotate computer and of computer activities among learners so that they ensure there is equal access to the available technology. And then in many cases, one place students in cooperative groups, like we had said. There are those who are more endowed with knowledge about computers. You connect them with those who do not understand computers so that they can help them to also come to their level. And then students may be placed in groups based on their ability, their learning style, their gender, or any other variable you find fit when you are dealing with your class. Then what are the advantages and advantages of those grouping variables? Like when you are talking about ability, learning ability, we can have the heterogeneous or homogeneous grouping. And when we are talking about heterogeneous, is whereby you are going to have people who have different abilities. Like for example, heterogeneous, you are grouping those who know versus those who do not know. So that and who knows can teach the other one. That is why we are talking about peer support and study. But there could be a disadvantage that some students do what we call free write, right? Even some will not be able to touch the mouse practice, or they are let one who knows operate computer and they are just there to write. So less able students, they let others do all the work. That is a danger you need to look out. When you are doing it in terms of homogeneous grouping, then you are saying that those who have a certain understanding, they are grouped together, and those who are not able to do that, those who do not have that level of understanding, they are grouped together. So those who are knowledgeable in terms of advantages that they will be able to bond and communicate more effectively. The low ability are left at disadvantage. So that is something you need to look out for. Then you can also group in terms of learning style, intelligence, or cognitive difference, which also has the heterogeneous and homogeneous, whereby those students who are more exposed in multiple perspectives and problem-solving methods are going to sit with those ones who are not able to perform such, and they can do peer teaching or peer education. But it is going to be difficult for a group where students display a preference for one dominant learning style or intelligence or cognitive preference. So there could be difficulties in such. But in terms of homogeneity, then students are going to bond and communicate more effectively. Then students are focus are going to be are going to be whether they are the same who have the same kind of focus and perspective are still going to be limited to what they know, and they are not able to learn something new. You can also group them in terms of gender and background, again, heterogeneous, whereby maybe boys are grouped together with girls. Then this is going to reduce stereotypes, and it is going to promote equality among perceived ability and leadership roles. Then teacher may need to ensure that the social skills are in place to eliminate preconceived biases. In terms of homogeneity, whereby you are grouping maybe boys alone and girls alone, then may benefit specific special interest groups or class or girls' use of computers. Now girls are given more opportunity, but it may cause unnecessary tension between those groups, such that is not a representation of the real world. You can't have a real world whereby maybe it is girls alone or it is boys alone. In a real world, it's going to be a mix of boys and girls, especially in the first century. So it is very important you use the genius. In summary, we normally say that heterogeneity is very important because those who have ability are going to help those who are a bit limited in terms of ability or in terms of intelligence and cognitive preference. And also, when you mix students, they are going to learn from one another. Boys can learn from girls, girls can learn from boys. And through that, you will be able to achieve desired learner outcome.